So guess what else? I have been very bad this morning, but that does not give me permission to be bad for the rest of the day. It does not give me permission to make bad choices in regards to what I eat for the rest of the day. In fact, it should only motivate me more to make even better choices for the entire rest of the day, as to counterbalance the bad choices that I've already made this morning. I went to Bible study this morning. Once again, a wonderful experience. I look forward to it now. I'm learning and I'm feeling very good about it. But if you've ever been to a church gathering before, you know there's usually bad food there. I had 2 servings of dump cake. I had 2 small pieces of brownie with frosting. I had a little bit of fruit salad. I had a little bit of like an egg pizza thing. I had some cheesy hash browns. In fact, I had 2 little servings of cheesy hash browns. And a little piece of carrot cake, I think it was. Could have been a lot worse, but I really didn't need the second helping of dump cake. Really didn't need that. So, it's noon, but I am not discouraged. It's 12:36. This is tuna salad, and these pretzel rounds, 140 calories for an ounce. Okay, so big time vlog fail because I have failed to make good choices this afternoon. Let's talk about some positives. I took a vitamin this morning. That's the first in like months. I think I felt a little bit more energy today because of that, possibly. I didn't take a nap today. That's another positive. What's another positive? I've only had water to drink today. So that's the good stuff. The not so good stuff is that I ate some things that I should not have eaten, that didn't fit with my calorie goal today, especially given the fact that I made a lot of poor choices this morning at Bible study, and instead of going for the fresh fruit and nuts, I went for the desserts and sweets and eggs and cheese and potatoes and stuff like that. What did I have to eat after I talked to you? Well, first there was a snafu because the tickets that my husband was supposed to be buying for my sister, after he purchased them and spent a lot of money that she had given to me to buy them, they told us that the military member has to be present for them to be admitted, and they had signs all over the office. I guess I wasn't there. He called me in a panic. No refunds, no exchanges, and he's like, what are we going to do? I don't want to have to eat this $300 or whatever it was. And so I was like, good question. So I got very, I don't want to say I got upset. I didn't necessarily get anxious. I got a little panicky about what are we going to do, what are we going to do, what are we going to do. I was trying to get off the phone with him. He kept kind of feeding me negativity over the phone, and I was just like, just let me get off the phone, let me think, let me call somebody, over there and whatever. So I did look at the sheet online, and it did say, yes, they have to be on there, and I didn't read it through. And I called the girl over there at the office on base, and I was like, this is the situation. She's like, have him bring it back today by close of business with the receipt, and we'll refund it. I was like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you. So, yeah. So the crisis was averted, but that still kind of pushed me towards wanting to eat some chocolate, which I had 4 pieces of the Hershey's Bliss left. I will not be buying any more bagged chocolates like that. I cannot have that kind of temptation in the house. I just can't have that in the house. And I still have not got out of the thinking, 6 months into it now, I've still not got out of the thinking that immediately, as soon as I become overwhelmed, stressed, panicky, frustrated, angry, anxious, sad, lonely, I want to grab chocolate. So, at least I'm recognizing that now. I mean, I've always known that I was triggered by negative emotion to eat something to make myself feel better because it releases those endorphins, those feel-good chemicals inside my body, and so I've conditioned myself to do that. But also it's a bit of self-sabotage, I've realized, in that, how do I explain that part? Have you ever screwed up something and you feel so terrible about it, and that makes you feel bad about yourself, and then you feel that you need to punish yourself in some way? I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just a self-sabotaging thing that I do on a somewhat conscious level whenever I feel angry. And all my kind of strength, all my willpower just kind of floats away at that moment. And there's just kind of this flood of a whole bunch of different things that go on in that time, in that moment when I'm feeling frustrated. And it is just like that alcoholic grabbing that drink to numb themselves from the pain. And thank you, God, I do not have a whole lot of pain in my life. But when I do let little things frustrate me, make me upset, I have not yet developed and implemented the kinds of coping mechanisms that I need in order to get through that moment. And I talked about this last night, just to take a break, you know. But anyway, I had, for a somewhat kind of late lunch, I had a serving of the Ritz pretzel rounds for 140 calories with tuna salad. I then later had the 4 pieces of the Hershey's Bliss with about 4/5 of a serving of mini chocolate chips, with another half serving of the pretzel rounds. And that's been it, actually. And you know, I was thinking earlier about why I feel the need to tell you guys everything that I'm eating, because I want to be transparent with you. Just as I want to try to log all my food when I cheat, so that I can look that number in the face and I can have some clear-cut data in the future when I've gained so that I can compare that. I want you guys to see that too. I want you to see, okay, she messed up that day. She had dump cake, she had chocolate, she had more chocolate. And the next day she gained 1.5 pounds. But then she was really good that day, and the next day she was back down to where she was again. So just because I eat this chocolate cake today and this dump cake doesn't mean that I've blown my diet and therefore the hell with it, I don't need anything to do with it anymore. No, because you can recover too, you can rebound too, you can bounce back. Just because you messed up this morning doesn't mean you have to mess up this afternoon. Just because you messed up yesterday doesn't mean you have to mess up today. It's all in a vacuum. That moment, that mistake, that happened. That was on its own. It doesn't have to continue for the rest of your life. It doesn't have to continue for the rest of the month or the week or the day or the hour. I want you guys to know that.